Hey there. It looks like I'm live. It looks like I'm on the screen. That's good. How are you today? It is Sean from HOLDFAST Bricks, or HOLDFAST Brickworks. Do you want? I think I should change my name again. I was Play More because it's a good mantra to live by. It's playing more. I think everyone as an adult should play more. That's worked out well for me. I think it has led me down this path as I don't know, middle-aged person, more than middle-aged person. Who knows? Um, but yes, I play more. So that was the original when I first started my Lego professional career, if you could call it that. When I opened my Bricklink store, I said, "Play more." What a great name for a store. And yeah, it's a good mantra. It's a good T-shirt slogan. It's a good way to live your life. So then it changed. Then I didn't want to be, because Play More and of course Lego, the name was created as a mashup of leg and gut, play well. So play well is also a good mantra as well. Play well. So it's not. It's kind of like take advantage of the play for not just play. If you like, play well would be like learn while you're playing or socialize while you're playing. So play well. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And play more is kind of, good vibes as well. Anyway, so I changed that because I was doing a lot of local things and became Halifax Bricks. HFXBRX is the short term. I have a sweater over here that I often wear. It's my hot pink sweater. I also have a thing that's buried behind a bunch of stuff that I won't bring out, but I was just showing it to Brick and Nick. Brick and Nick was just down in San Diego at TwitchCon, and at TwitchCon they had a whole bunch of the phosphorescent or Lego that reacts under blacklight. So there is the coral pink color, as well as what's the bright? I think it's called whatever the bright green or yellow. It's like neon yellow, I think, is the actual color. And it will glow, as well as some other like translucent colors, like the neon oranges, or the whatever the translucent orange is. But it's not called translucent orange. It's like translucent light orange or something. Anyway, so Nick was doing this really cool event at San Diego, at the TwitchCon in San Diego, where they had a bunch of the phosphorescent. They had black lights and stuff. So people were building some really cool things. So I do have a HFXBRX glow in the dark sign. I should probably put it back up there on the wall of fame. The wall of fame is interesting. It's just a bunch of random stuff right now. It's going to keep changing because I don't really know what to do with the backdrop. I thought about having some sort of like artificial fog behind me to blur that out, but that's like, so I've got random cardboard box that is actually all full of 1x1 tiles for a mosaic that I'm doing for a fundraiser that's coming up in about 2 weeks. There's a giant sheet of plywood right beside me that's going to have all the base plates attached. I've got a whole ton of base plates, so I'm going to double side tape those to the wood. And then at this event, it's actually going to be built by the public, or it's private people, but so people are going to be building these tiles, then they're going to stick them on the tile, and then the whole thing's going to be auctioned off for a good cause. So that's coming up in about 2 weeks. I'll probably have some news to release once that's actually done. I don't really even know. No one tells me that I have to be secret about stuff, but certain things I have to be secret about, certain things I don't. Yeah, so I'm preparing for that. But yeah, the backdrop, junk. So Halifax Bricks, HFXBRX was the name for a while. And I really like that name, and it feels good. It's, Halifax is where I live, and there's a need for Lego in the community. So I have become kind of the local Lego guy. I do a lot of workshops in the schools, and I was doing them in the libraries, and then it's kind of spread, and people are just like, "Oh, the Halifax Lego guy, you're the Halifax Lego guy." And so that's worked out well. But then when I went to register my business at the joint stock of registered companies, which is a process which every wonderful person has to go through at some point when they get super serious about stuff, you manage to go into the process thinking everything's going to be fine, and you pay your, I don't even know. I can't remember. I think it was like $63 to register my name, but then it was like, do I pay extra to register it nationwide? And I think I did. So you register your name, and then they go through this process of, and they want you to have at least one proper descriptive word of the function of your business. So bricks. Bricks is a thing. And then you have to have some sort of personalized thing like Sean's bricks or Bob's bricks. And I was like, Halifax bricks. That makes sense. Except if you were a brick company and you were based out of Halifax, you might also call yourself Halifax Bricks. And that's what happened. So that was discovered at the joint stock of registered companies, that there was, in fact, another Halifax Bricks. I'm going to get something. So let's just take a look at the back wall. Because I realized that I was actually supposed to be building something, and I didn't actually get it. But I'm going to do, hopefully, the instructions. I really just want to do the first part, because I only have a little bit of time, maybe an hour. So if you're watching at home, there is someone here. So I bought this from Lego.ca, my favorite source of all brick-based kits. On launch day, I think, and it was pre-ordered, sold out, or something like that. Anyway, but then it came out, and it was at Costco, and it was actually really cheap at Costco, and I could have saved like $40, $50 if I bought it at Costco. So, dear Lego, if you're gonna have things that are exclusive to Costco, make them exclusive to Costco. Actually. Do that first. Launch them at Costco. I think that's a great idea. Because I think Target in the United States would have some exclusive kits. I don't know. That's actually interesting. I think there's some exclusives. Toys R Us will have the exclusive Bricktober stuff, and there's I've got a Batman one somewhere. In honor of Batman Days, I actually have no idea. I can see it, but it's behind a bunch of stuff. That's my wall of shame. Anyway, so I bought this kit. So I want to build this kit. At least the first part. Because I have an idea that's a secret. And I need to figure out how complicated it is to build the front of a truck. I kind of like the idea of using the yellow, the Lego yellow. What do you call the front of a truck? Is that actually what a semi is? This part. Is it the truck, but then it's a trailer, so I would consider the whole thing the truck. But what's this? Someone's going to be like, it's a thing. So if you're in chat, I don't even know. Can I see the chat? Top chat. Yeah, chat's there. Tell me what the front of a truck is. And I hear this set is especially cool because it uses less stickers than people might expect. They were like, oh, it's going to be just covered in big giant stickers, and how are you going to get those straight? And I think Lego had that exact same thought and said, let's not make those stickers. Guess what, everybody? Not plastic bags. Oh, wait, no. They're plastic bags. Yep. So I'm hoping that this is actually what I'm hoping. See, that's really weird. Here's one of those cool plastic pieces. We get that in focus. There we go. Thank you, fancy camera that changes focus. So this is a printed piece, but there's one of them. And then there's a bag with 3 of them. So one of them was in the bag. One of them was out of the bag. 3 of them are in a bag. And there is no hole in the bag. Just this one wanted to be by itself. Yes. So we're gonna see. Anyway, so hold Halifax bricks. So yes, I went to go register my name at the joint stock of registered companies, and they said, sorry, it's already taken. And I was like, but who? And I was like, is this some nefarious plot by my rivals? Steal my business name. There are 3 instruction booklets. Small, medium, and large. So let's see, does it have an explanation? Bag 1. Okay, I don't want to do any bag 1. Bag 1 is not what I want to do. Bag, instruction book 1, sorry. So instruction book 1 is, so in this kit there is like a forklift and some pallets of toys and a hot dog stand and a box. None of those are what I want to do. But it looks like instruction set number 2 starts, and it looks like a vehicle. Truck front. A front truck. Truck. My new jam here. I don't know if have I actually shown a stream that actually has everything in here? I don't know. As in the fancy camera. Let's see if we can actually get it work. Bam! Look at that fancy camera. So we're gonna center our workspace. You know, right there. That looks pretty centered. Keep my hands in there. Can do that. Here's bag number. So bag number 1 is part of the truck, and they said open bag number 2. So as I was standing there at the joint stock of registered companies, and they said, sorry, sir, that name's already taken. And I said, well, what am I going to call myself now? That's weird. I'm assuming that is backwards for you. So what if I do this? Can I do it live? And no, I want to do this. Transform, flip, horizontal. Ooh, see, now you can read that it says city. But now when my right hand is on the table, it looks like it's my left hand. That's going to be confusing for people. So, gotta drop my microphone. Oh yeah, I should get a chair. You guys can watch me build. Yeah, so I was building. What was I doing? I was, and I make it seem like I was actually somewhere, but I was not somewhere. I was sitting on my computer on the joint stock of registered companies, and they sent me the email back saying, no, you cannot use this name. And I said, oh my gosh, really? Or I can't remember exactly how fast it was. Cool. So this is the driver dude. So driver dude's got a beard. 2 beards in the package, so we can give somebody a spare beard. This guy looks like Boone. Maybe Boone's my new Lego delivery guy. You see what I'm doing? No, not really. I gotta remember. Build. Basically, I have to build here. I'm gonna build here. What if I do this? But then you're looking at my belly. Nobody really wants to look at my belly. Yeah. Now you can look at my hands, and I'm sure it's really super in focus. Anyway, so is this my, update this? So if I zoom out and then zoom back in, it'll be all wonky. But anyway, so I'm sitting there doing the joint stock of registered company thing, and I am forced to, on the spot, come up with a new name. And I had just sent pieces to Scotland. If you've been following me on the Instagram, I should have done a video about that. But I had discovered a Lego user group that is based out of Scotland, and they're called Tartan Lug. And I was like, haha, Tartan Lug, that's funny. I'm Scottish, ha ha ha. And so I looked into them and saw that they did an exhibition on a piece of land called, that's a unique piece I've never seen before. See that, but it's basically a 2x4 plate, but it's only a 2x2 with a weird wonky hinge kind of receptacle, which, obviously for building a semi-truck, is that why they call it a semi-truck? Because it's part of a truck. It's semi-truck. Anyway, blah blah blah. So cool new piece. So I'm sitting there and I was thinking, so I sent a piece so I joined Tartan Lug. They do a show on the Isle of Skye. The Isle of Skye is an island on the, in the Orkneys, maybe, in the far west coast of Scotland, like northwest kind of area of Scotland. And it's amazingly beautiful and a wonderful place. But it's also the ancestral home to the Clan MacLeod, which, if you know who I am a MacLeod. Of course, they spell the name properly with an MAC. When my family came overseas to Canada, whoever was spelling names that day just said, well, we don't need an extra A in there. And people ask why I'm missing the A, and that's exactly it. It's just people who were working at the border station just spelt it one way, and then my family got stuck with this name forever. Anyway, this is kind of neat. So, because this group, and lugs are cool things, and I reached out to them, sent them an email saying, hey, any chance, can I just join your lug and send you a membership fee and do it proper and send you a piece, because I have this family connection to this random piece of land in the middle of nowhere, and you guys do a show there. And they were like, that sounds cool, and they were totally into it. And so I mailed off the piece. So I built the piece. So the piece is so small base plates, like I'm using for the mosaic. They're 32 by 32. The larger base plates are 48 by 48. They used to be 50 by 50, but then they got smaller over time. So my mosaic is 4 of the 48 by 48 base plates. So I got 4 of them, and then I created Mills tile. And for those who know Lego, there's a system of interconnecting. So people that build the Lego City stuff. They would, you know, when you build your bank and your police station and whatever, when you want to put them on display, you kind of want them to click together. So some of the buildings are actually designed to click together by themselves. There's just little peg holes on them. And there's other ones that aren't designed so well. But then they were like, well, what if I just put like more stuff onto the buildings? You want to have like sidewalks and roads. And then you're like, oh, what if I just make the whole thing click together? So it's this thing called mills. And I don't know why they call it mills. I'm sure it's a really simple, obvious, you know, system that someone developed, probably named Millhouse's Lego system. And basically you put pegs and Technic connectors into the base plates, so then you can build like cities and things and then just click them together, the whole block. So I then took this system and then made it bigger onto the 48 by 48 base plates, made it all click together, designed it so it was all cool. And this thing, yeah. And so then and there's a stop motion animation, which I actually think is probably one of the coolest things I've ever made, on the Instagram somewhere, of me putting together a quarter of it. So there's 4 48 by 48 plates that are quite big, bigger than this camera angle. And it's a part of my family tartan. And my family tartan is kind of famously one of the ugliest, if not the ugliest. Not really ugliest. Ugly is an easy word to use. One of the more flamboyant. I actually like flamboyant, and I think the tartan is not ugly. It's flamboyant. I joke that it's ugly, but it is bright yellow and black and a red stripe. So it stands out in a crowd, which is kind of cool, because when you're building something out of bricks, you kind of want it to stand out. You wanted people to see it from across the room and go, oh my gosh, look at that thing. It's this, you know, thing. And then people recognize it. So I got the approval to join the club. So I sent them my membership money, and then I started building, because the deadline for the show was like under a month away. So I joined right at the perfect time, because if I had joined, you know, 2 weeks later, I probably wouldn't have had time. So I begged and pleaded and got a whole bunch of 1x1 tiles, and built this really large version of the most flamboyant tartan that you can find. I think this is going to go this way. And so it all connects together. So I then packaged it up and put on all the pegs and put in a bunch of stuff, and then shipped it to Scotland and off to John. And so John received it just in time, and then he ended up having to pay like a whole bunch of import fees, even though I wrote all of the, but like it's effectively an art piece. I'm not selling Lego. This was a display piece, and it was that side goes on there. This would be the little step that the driver can go in. Cool. This is fill out. Of course, I have to do the exact same thing, but backwards. So John, who was the contact that I had with the lug, received it. He came to his mother's house. It was and yeah, and so then it was in Scotland, and then the show at the Isle of Skye, which was called Blocks on the Rock. Blocks on the Rock? No, that's the Newfoundland show. It was called I Have the Brick. I can't believe that I'm forgetting the name of the show. Whatever the show was called. I'm sorry. I just don't want to stick on this for too long. But anyway, so it was on exhibit in Skye for like a day. And in the end, it cost me $1 billion. It was like $400, $500 after all the payments were paid. And the kit itself is probably maybe $100 and $150 worth of bricks. Like, it's really like I paid more for getting it there than it's worth, which is, you know, the sacrifices we make as a fan base. We're crazy people. Anyway, so I sent it off. It was on display, and then the tartan lug. They were like, "What do you want to do with it now?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's kind of expensive. I don't really want to ship it back." But there was like, "Well, we'll just, you know, bring it to other shows." And I was like, "Oh, really? Sure, okay." So then they have slowly taken this piece for like the last, I can't even remember when this was. Sometime in the spring was the show, and then maybe in March, April. That makes sense. So then the piece has traveled, and I think it's been to probably like 6 or 8 shows so far. And so now I've got all these kind of participation, you know, good vibes that I've been in all these cool Scottish events, and yeah, it's really, it makes me happy. The whole thing does. It's just one of those. I'm happy this thing is out there in the world, doing whatever it is doing. Anyway, so this had just happened. I think I had just sent it away, and then as I'm stuck dealing with the joint stock registered companies, I'm just struggling to find a name. And then it dawns on me that, you know, it was like HF, what goes with HF? And my family motto, the McLeod family motto, one of many, is hold fast. And hold fast, you know, it's a very common phrase that's used with actually a few different things. Fishing is one of them. So fishermen, more olden time fishermen, that would be sailors maybe, would hold fast. So that would be a motto that hold on to the mast, hold on to the ropes. If there's stormy seas, you hold tight, you hold fast. That's basically what that means. And also there's a clear reference to God in this. I'm not the biggest, God person, but it's also like hold fast to your beliefs, hold fast to, so it's basically a good vibes kind of concept to hold fast, kind of like play well or play more. I think it's a nice sentiment, no matter what reference you use it. Either you're like, don't fall off a boat, or cling to what's important. And also with regard to the Lego brick, or building bricks in particular, holding fast is effectively clutch power. So like the fact that this brick here is not coming off it's holding fast. So it's I like all the meanings of hold fast, but it is a shame that once again I've gone from play more to Halifax bricks and then to hold fast. But I really like hold fast, but I really like the graphics that I came up with for Halifax bricks. So like the Halifax, the city, very few people would know, and this is the Canadian city, not the British city, or I don't know if there's other ones, but Halifax City has a flag, and it has a nice boat on it. And so I took that boat, and then I took the highest res image of the flag, and then I extracted it, and then I cleaned it up and kind of redesigned it a little bit, and then so I made a really cool sweater that's got the boat on it. There's also a Kingfisher, and Lego has since released the Kingfisher Lego set, but I also was walking around with a t-shirt that had the Kingfisher, and it was HFXBRX, and people were like, oh, Halifax flag, oh, Kingfisher. So I really liked the artwork. Then I made this cool graffiti thing. It was HFX bricks, and it was like dripping graffiti, and I really liked that, and people liked that. Anyway, so I've spent a lot of energy marketing the second name because I was really proud of it, and I wanted people around town to be like, Halifax bricks, that's cool. So then I'm in this conundrum. Okay, HFX bricks. So then it's HF of Halifax bricks. Can I use the HF for hold fast? Where does the X come into it? Then there's so I've designed a shield logo, and the shield has a red X in the background, as you can see actually on the screen in the top right hand corner. That's the red X. So that logo is the cow's head. So the cow, it's not just a cow, it's a Highland cow. Highland cows are famous for their long emo hairstyles. This is part of it too. So, and I first started playing with it before Halifax bricks. This is a sticker. I love this graphic. And that's these are just rambling stories. So whoever's listening to this, Owen, you get to hear the whole story unedited. And the cow. So the cow is the family crest for the MacLeod clan. There's a few different ones. Of course, there's a sun for one of them. And that motto is like, we shine bright but do not burn. In Latin, it sounds so much better. So there's that's the MacLeod of Harris motto, and I think the MacLeod of Lewis motto is the hold fast one. I don't really, because I'm a Canadian, I just cling on to any fact that I'm Scottish, and I'm really not too picky about what exact type of Scottish I am, which is kind of funny, and it makes my father-in-law cringe. He's like, well, you should, but what line of lineage, what's your, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm Canadian, and I'm from Western Canada, so like, I haven't done the 23andMe. I'm just like, you know what, let's just say it's a feel-good moment that I'm, just pretending that I'm Scottish. Robbie Burns Day, I'll celebrate Robbie Burns Day. Cheers to Robbie Burns. I think this goes this way. It doesn't really want to tell me. Yeah, that's right. And so the MacLeod family crest, one of them has a sun. Shine bright, do not burn. The other one is hold fast, and it's got a cow, a bull's head with horns. And it does have this kind of swoopy, droopy hair, but it's mostly a black bull, but it's got the kind of the hair swoop of what a Highland cow would have. So it's kind of a vague image, but it's also drawn primitively hundreds of years ago, in theory. I don't know where this image came from that I was looking at, but I've never really found a good one. And I've done cartooned versions of this logo. And that's what I'm looking for. I always thought of it as a Highland cow. So then I was like, okay, if I'm going to have a crest, I'm going to find a Highland cow. And I, of course, found this clip art thing, and I paid for the rights to use this image that somebody else, and I've seen this image used in a couple of other, I think there was a brewery somewhere in the States that uses the same cow art. So I feel like I should change it, but I also want to stick with the theme of the Highland cow, because it spun its own life separately. I was palsy with a Lego employee who is now a former Lego employee, and he sent me a picture of the good old days when he first went to go work at Lego in Billund, Denmark. And at that time, around there was like some giant blocks kind of in the ground, which I believe has now become the Lego campus. So this was before that building was built. And in the fields near the Lego properties were Highland cows just grazing all the time. They lived there. They were taken care of by the Kirk Christiansens. The Lego family had an affinity for all things Scotland for some reason, including the Highland cow. And so I have this really great picture, which I really should probably track down and keep in somewhere where I can find it easily. But there's a picture of a Highland cow by this giant Lego brick in Billund, Denmark, the home of the brick. And it's just kind of one of those really cool things that, like, okay, my family motto is one thing. Hold fast. It's got the crest. It's got the cow. I'm now using a shield logo, so I've got a little fleet of, soldiers that are part of the, like MacLeod Castle. What am I thinking of? MacLeod. Just a clan, basically. So there's all the different, like the Lions Knights and all the different factions. That's the word I'm looking for, factions. So I now have a HOLDFAST faction that I've equipped with shields, and there's a whole color scheme. So I've really kind of done it up. I'm leaning hard into this angle. So if ever I'm going to stick with the cow. HOLDFAST is the motto, and so that's kind of the long story of the branding conversation that I started when I first. I should really keep that in the, look at that. So this is where we are so far. I've just been building away while talking, and I'm going to take a break, but you can see this will be the front side here, back side here. This is a little emergency kit. This cable, this power line, I'm sure maybe it gets disconnected and then technically like taps into the trailer when it gets connected. A little smokestack. Uses the cab, I suppose. I'm sure there's going to be seats in there. Then we're going to build the walls. But it's coming, taking shape. Taking shape, eh? So, long story longer. That's kind of the motto of this podcast. Podcast, stream, whatever the heck this thing is. We're just building. So we're building, and you're listening. That's the story. So, what else is going on in the Lego group, Lego company world? This week is, I guess you could call it homecoming week in Billund, which is actually kind of inappropriate. I don't think anyone's ever called it that, but we're going to call it homecoming week from now on. So homecoming week in Billund is when everybody who's everybody is there. And I'm not there because I'm not somebody. But in the last few days, there have been all sorts of posts all over social media. The Lego fan media get invited to go hang out in the Lego house, and they're exposed to all the new sets that they're going to, film clips. And, in the next months, there's going to be all these reveals, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah. Here's my footage of when I was at the Lego house back in September. And here's me interviewing the designer, and here's the secrets. And famously, Brixie, he's the Canadian, one of the few Canadian fan media personalities. We got to build two of these. Nice piece right there. Two of those. There. So Brixie did exactly what I just described. He was at the fan media time. He was videoing, I think it was some Avengers set. Maybe it was the tower. I think it might have been the Avengers tower, because that was revealed about this time last year. Which is weird to think it was that long ago. But revealed at the same time was the Groot figure, or no, it was Rocket Raccoon. And so they had them on the table, so he had a bunch of pictures and video while he was standing there, and then he the reveal date was happened for the Avengers Tower. And so he released this clip, and there in that clip there's like a 1 second gaffe where he left a picture of the Rocket Raccoon set still on the screen, and he was just, focusing on the Avengers Tower, but the Rocket Raccoon set had not been revealed yet, and the secret release date had not happened yet. So it got him into trouble, and I guess, and that kind of stuff happens, right? So I guess I forgot my sticker sheet. What's going on that sticker? Sheet back in the fancy envelope box somewhere in here. So yeah, so this was the date and time. So the TV, I'm guessing, is that a TV? It's a Tiger. It's this guy. You know what they say? Don't put brick stickers on with your fingers. But my brick separator is in the other bag, and I didn't open it yet. Look at that. Oh, not picky enough. There we go. It goes on the inside here. A little tiger. So yes, Brixie got in trouble, and then he was put on probation or something for his gaffe. Basically, they say you didn't follow the rules, and that sucks. But hey, Brixie was just about to go on this 12-month long episode arc of him opening a, I don't know how 50,000 square foot, I don't know how big it is, 5,000 square foot warehouse to move all his Lego out of his house so he can enjoy watching TV in his basement again, which clearly he's not struggling. He's doing quite well for himself. So being temporarily in the bad books of the Lego company didn't do him too badly. But I think he's in billing this week again. So hopefully there's not any more unintentional gaffes. And that really sucks when something like that happens. Like, clearly it wasn't intentional. It was like on the same table as this other thing. You pick one date for one thing. You'd think wouldn't show two things at the same time that have different dates. But whatever. I don't know. That the whole fan media thing is a interesting thing for a lot of people. Some people, and Brixie does actually, he's got a wonderful city that he works on. He's got an amazing collection, but it's basically an extreme show of extravagance. Duck Bricks he just had a video that came out last week where he talked about his level of wealth and his his comforts. And his story was like, well, I've worked really hard for my money, but he did kind of sneak in there that he went to an extremely expensive private school when he was going to like junior high or high school. So he did have some help in that process. Like he's not he didn't have many barriers to get to the point where he is, and now he's extremely wealthy and has the biggest Lego collection in the world. Anyway, but that's some side of things. But then you have other fan media that are just very charming people. Not just very charming people, but very charming people. And they have a lot of charisma. And like, look at me. I've got zero charisma. I am just sitting here building. And this is called research and development right now. Because I'm going to take this truck apart. I'm just looking at all these different methods to get this shape. And this is a pretty beautiful shape. But I could probably change a few things about it. Actually, I'm probably going to do it from scratch. But actually, I didn't quite realize what that was. Inside here. Inside the cab is, in fact, a bed. White kind of pillow in there. Stick your minifig's legs into there and have a little nap. Maybe we can just give him a nap now. There we go. He's so comfortable in that little cab. My daughter is coughing upstairs. This thing? What is this thing? I think this is the grill. Because this is at a nice shape, nice angle. Anyway, so yeah, there's builders, and then there's collectors, and then there's just really kind of, I don't even know what you want to call them. Just pretty people. And I'm definitely not a pretty person either. So I don't know. I don't have a hope in heck to become a Lego fan media personality. I'm just kind of going through my adventure on screen because I feel like I should. I feel like if I'm doing this full time, like this is my full-time job, that sometimes I should be doing certain things in front of you so then you can go, huh, what a weird world he lives in. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, so I do this full time. So yes, registered business. Look at, oh, that actually is quite nice. So let's do that again for that. So this piece is what I built recently. This piece is another piece. So this is just a little clip that sits on a clip in here. There's your motor. It just sits in there. This has a little clip. Oh, backwards. Clips onto that other thing. This kind of moves a little bit, but you can tilt it back ever so slightly. And then this piece that I just built sits on the side. There's an offset connection in there that was built into this. That's actually really great. That's very nice. That's very nice. Cool. And now we can do the same thing on the other side. Anyway, fan media. I don't have a chance. But anyway, so homecoming week, everyone's in. Don't want to build two of the exact same. Build the opposite. Everyone is in Denmark right now. And I think fan media days maybe just wrapped up, but it's basically 3 days of fan media access. So there's a whole bunch of people there taking pictures, going to the Lego house, doing all these tours. While and they got to go to see did they go to Copenhagen? They went somewhere and saw the Lego movie, the new Pharrell Williams Bit by Brick. So everyone got an advanced screening of that. So everyone's going, yeah, look at me, I'm the cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're so cool. And the internet, that's what people do. People just, you're cool. And hey, look, 1x5, my favorite piece. On a Lego set with a 1x5. I'm trying to put them in every one of the sets that I design because I love 1x5s. They're the best. Anyway, so yes, fan media people are all over Billund right now, hanging out. Also, this week is the changeover of the Masterpiece Gallery. So last year at this time, dear friend Zachary Steinman. Look at that. So Zachary Steinman, or Steinman Zachary on the Instagram, was in Billund doing the same thing. He was installing his display at the Lego house. So that's the Masterpiece Gallery. So in the main hall of the Lego house is a series of glass cabinets, really nice lighting, blah, blah, blah. And so he got the honor to put his work on display for 12 months. And so now those 12 months are up. So his stuff, sadly, is getting boxed up and sent back to him. And now he's got to, figure out the next step. Well, he's going to receive it and then deal with it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty cool thing. But I'm sure that, you know, the crazy space that he was in last year when you're flying off to Denmark, Lego invites you and you don't even believe it. It's a really good tale. You should check out Zach's Instagram if you haven't. I don't know if he's actually told the tale in video form on his Instagram. I know that he's been on a couple like news broadcasts where he's talked about it, but yeah, generally, you know, you get an email from Lego and you're like, this isn't real. And I guess they followed up, and then he asked around and people were like, yeah, it's a real thing. So, you know, I think that would be a very similar reaction. Like, it's very, like, he's a very down to earth dude. So he's like, meh, this, you know, some spam. But it turned out to be real. So they flew him out. He and his wife, they celebrated their 21st wedding anniversary while there. He got to meet, of course, all the staff and all the folks out there. Seemed to have a blast. He represented the Maritimes very well. There are a few other Maritimers that are working out in Lego. I don't want to out them as Maritimers, though. They might. Maybe they've moved on from the Maritimes. But, yeah. So homecoming week. So there's the fan media. There's the so the people like Zachary last year, but there's a whole new flock of people that have come to the Lego house, and they just had a sneak peek, I think, of the new art that's on display. And so I think that'll be all revealed in the next couple of weeks. I know a few of the people that were invited this year, so that's cool. I don't know them intimately, but I know of their Instagrams, and I was not surprised by some of the choices because there's a lot of amazing creators out there. I am in no way on anyone's. I'm a jobber. Is that a thing? Meat and potatoes kind of guy. My designs are green piece. Oh yeah, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I am a utilitarian designer. I have aims to have more time to do more elegant work. But in that I mentioned that I do this for a living, most of my time is spent working on client stuff. And client stuff, and then you go from client to client to client to client. I haven't had a chance to build anything for myself for quite some time. This truck, oh, look at that. You can check your motor. This truck is the first kind of personal thing. And it's not even a personal thing. It's just building a set. So I haven't built a set in a long time. Hence why I'm sharing it with you. The experience of a lifetime. Build a set with Sean. But yeah, I don't have much time to do this kind of work. But this is also research and development. So, back to it. Homecoming week. So the fan media are there. There's wrapping up at some point soon. I missed a page. How did I miss a page? Did I miss a page? It goes like this. Yeah, I totally missed a page. So fan media, I've been there for a few days. I just realized that I put my backpack down. And this also smells really bad. The spray painted piece of wood that I've got beside me. I'm just like, whew. But I also put my backpack down with methyl ethyl ketone in it, which is what you use to glue Lego pieces together. So I'm going to go find that soon. But yeah, I think the stench is actually my thing beside me, this piece of wood. So I think I'm going to slide it outside for a little bit. Of course, now that I've started coughing, I can't stop, but I'm going to work through it because I'm almost done this chunk. And then after I'm done this chunk, I'm going to hang up for the day and go and find something else to do. But homecoming week in Billund, in Denmark, the home of the brick. So there's all the Lego Masters Gallery folks, all the creative people that have been brought in to show off their builds for the next year. Excuse me. I should have a cough button. People always talk about that. As I'm sitting here with water right beside me. So, the fan media are going to be taken off soon. Then there's also the Lego Certified Professionals. So, if ever there was a job that I would covet, if coveting was an attractive thing, it's the Lego Certified Professionals. The Lego Certified Professionals are people like Robin Sather. Robin was the very first Lego Certified Professional. Robin also is a Canadian. He is from Vancouver. He was also the judge of the Lego Masters New Zealand show, or the I guess I don't know, judge. Is judge the right word? He was the Lego Master, the true Lego Master that was on that show as a guest. I like that the New Zealand one. It was a good vibe. It's proof positive that the Canadian show could work. If New Zealand has such a small population, yet they can create such a good show, then there's no reason why, with Canada's population and the skill level of all the people that we have, there's no reason why we can't have our own show and not have to go on to Lego Masters USA. Not that I don't love Will Ferrell. I'll just leave that at that. So, Robin Sather. There's also Graham Diamond. Graham Diamond is the head of the... he's based out of Toronto. He is the mastermind of Bricks in the Six, which is the biggest Lego convention in... Should I take this driver out? Yeah. Let's give him a seat in the front. Is this really the seats that are in here? Seems kind of a weird spot. Let's just put that there for now. That looks good. So yes, Graham Diamond. Diamond Bricks is his company name. And he is a Lego Certified Professional. There is also Nathan Sawaya. Nathan is down in the States. He's famous for the art of the brick. So the art of the brick is his series of art exhibitions where basically he's built every single thing that you can imagine, from Andy Warhol versions to, you know, there are some very cool original designs, but he's definitely kind of cornered that market of large scale, artistically aimed creations. So it's kind of a, like, if there was one thing that, you know, with my degree in art history and art, degree in ceramics and art history, that I would want to do Lego art, but it seems to every possible version. Look at this. Now we're gonna put the wheels on. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Lego wheels. Did you know something about Lego wheels? Yep, everyone knows. That's my favorite thing, is when people like my mom send me links to some cool Lego thing, and I'm like, oh, Mom, that's so like 3 months ago. Look at that. It's a great shape. And it's perfectly perfect for what it is. It's super good. I like it. I am a little surprised by the seat. It's functional. Totally functional. There you go. Anyway, there you go. Whoa. Anyway, so here we go. 1 hour, a bit later. So this is the semi truck. Is that why they call it semi truck? So again, very nice grill. It's at a nice angle. You can kind of tilt it forward to pretend that you're looking at the motor. The top pops off. Check out the bed. You can watch TV while you're sleeping at a parking garage. There's I think that smokestack might need to go a little taller. Is there? I would put an addition on that. Anyway, so this is the new thing. I'm going to work on this. I have a plan. So my plan is that I am going to do something with a semi truck. It's probably not going to be revealed for at least 14 months. But when it is, it'll be cool. Also, I guess I should put this out there. Lego sunflowers. They're very nice. My son actually built these. We in the Maritimes lost a Lego personality. I don't know what you're supposed to call Lego people. A Lego personality, a fan of the bricks. Maybe he doesn't even like Lego specifically. There may have been too many rules with Lego. He liked to the brick butcher, I think is what some people called him. Fred Bowdridge is who I'm speaking of. He was a member of Novalug being the Nova Scotia Lego user group, which rebranded at some point, probably 4 or 5, 6 years ago, to the Maritime Lego user group because there were more people in New Brunswick than there were in Nova Scotia, so they thought to change the name. So Fred was a very passionate creator. But he didn't really like rules, and that's okay. Some people just don't like rules. And but yeah, he was a very passionate creator, and he and I had many good long conversations. We actually never exhibited together. He was more involved in the lug before I joined, and then afterwards he bought a bunch of brick from me. Like I have a Bricklink store, so he was always swinging by to pop by, and we'd have a chat. And I met his father, and unfortunately, he is survived by his father and mother and grandmother and daughter. And so there's a ceremony tomorrow. So apparently sunflowers were his favorite. So I did get these sunflowers. You know, if someone passes away and they might be a Lego fan, I don't think people want to be burdened with a ton of Lego. So I was like, I could get him a dozen sunflowers. I could get Luna, his daughter, who's looking after everything. I was like, yeah, I get her. I'm like, nobody really wants more Lego. And that's I laugh, but it's very serious. I've thought about this as well, and sure has Lego. Lego actually has been kind of. There was a poll that came out last year, a questionnaire that was pretty detailed. It took 20, 30 minutes to get through, all about where do you see your Lego collection in 20 or 30 years? Or do you plan to pass it on to a family member? Do you, what's the succession plan of your Lego collection? And I've thought about it before, and I've talked to my wife, and I'm like, just give it away. Just give it away. Like the amount of effort and time that it would require. And it would be a burden to my family. It would be a burden to my friends. Like even the people that have positive associations with it. Like, if I died tomorrow, there'd be a few Lego people that would be like, oh, I want to, give Sean's family the best deal that they could get. And I want to, do right by him because whatever. But at the same time, it's just such a burden. And there's so many boxes in the world that, it's like, where does this go? So I've said like, go to all the local daycares, just dump out like, here's 5 boxes of Lego, go to the next daycare, here's 5. And I think that, that's an easy way to do it. And I have intentions. Everyone has good intentions of dealing with their bricks. I've acquired quite a few bulk buys, like huge bulk buys, which I could see. I was like, oh, that one, if that has the right sticker on it, it's from this set. And if that set's in there, then whoa, that's like $1,000. And oh, this could be another $500. And this could be, $20, $30, $40, $50. So I'm pricing it out before you buy these bulk buys, right? And I used to have more time to kind of dig through and sort and find what's missing in sets and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, so Fred's passed away, so his service is tomorrow. So we didn't get him 100 sunflowers. We got him 2. I got his daughter, his family. So that we're as a symbol of his Lego fascination. So I'm going to go as a representative of the lug, and I think one other member is going to come over and go to the ceremony. And we never want to be in those shoes, but we know people in those shoes a lot. It's never good to lose someone, but it's also really special that we get to be alive when they're alive. So that's what I always think of that. Like my grandmother passes away, and I'm like, at least I got to be around her. And that's special. And like my grandfathers, like this is the state. I was 1 year old when both my grandfathers passed away, and I never got to know them. So I don't know what it's like to lose them, right? And you're like, they just run around. And like William Shakespeare, he was dead before I've heard a story, but I don't know what he was like as a person. So those connections, when you meet people, when you get to experience, when you get to have a chat on the sidewalk for 2 hours about, the good old days of building bricks with Bob, but yeah, Fred was a character, and he was, he was also a local bus driver. That he also grew up. I live in the north end of Halifax. He only grew up about 2 or 3 blocks away from here. He moved kind of further away, and then when he was back visiting me, picking up his Lego, he's like, "Oh, I used to, and I think he definitely knew one of my neighbors quite well. He was also a bus driver. He knew the other neighbor because he's lived here since I think they went to school together. So anyway, cherish those people around you. Cherish the fact that we live. Cherish the people that you get to meet, because people live and die all the time. And it's the important people that we get to experience, like that we get to be alive at the same time. Those are special things. Like I didn't know Sean Connery, but I lived at the same time as Sean Connery, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, on that note, so sunflowers. Yeah, I have so much more, and I remembered now that I deleted the whole podcast where I talked about the whole stream where I talked about Bricksplosion, because the microphone was all garbly, and so I'm hoping this one is not garbly, because if it is, then we'll just delete it. But we built the truck. I think this will be the basis of my own version. I think it could be, for my purposes, it could be a little dumbed down, but I really like the shapes on this. But I am going to be basing it on a real truck. Moving. I'm sure it's really awesome for anyone that's actually watching. And I don't think anybody's watching at this point. What else is new? Batman Day was just the other day. Batman. I've had a little conversation with Lego customer service and with the Lego Ambassadors Network, directly to the people that report to those quality control people, because the Lego instructions, so they sold, with the boxes, an 8-in-1 Batman set. So you can get the Brickheads Batman, and so it comes in a box, and it comes with all these other pieces. So you can build 8 different versions of Batman, which is cool because he's got a million different costumes, and this is a neat way to do it. And I knew that certain pieces were on both sides. You couldn't build all 8 at the same time, but if you had 2 kits, you could build all 8. Oh, I forgot that is a code for my webcam. So now I'm back in this view. Force you to go into that view. Yes. That'll stop it. So, anyway, but you can only get the instructions for all 8 Batman sets by using the Builder app. And the Builder app, of course, is only on your phone, unless you have a tablet, and then you can get it on your tablet, blah, blah, blah. But I have this really amazing setup. Actually, I have 2 amazing setups that have giant TVs. This is a 32-inch screen that I'm looking at now. I have a laptop that's just over here. I also have a 43-inch TV over on my desk. And that's where I like to build. So if I'm going to be using digital instructions, like I don't really mind digital instructions as an adult. I don't want to give my kid digital instructions, because all they're going to do is play on the phone, and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to play YouTube, and they're going to find a way to get distracted through using a device. If I'm building it with my kid, I want to have, like, here's the paper, I like this experience. We're not on screens. We're building with bricks, right? So the only instructions you can get in PDF form are for the very first Batman. That is the same one you get the paper instructions for, but you don't get the 7 variants. So the only way to get the 7 variants is to use the Builder app. And the Builder app is kind of like designed for a 2-year-old to build Lego. Every piece, I think. It's painfully, tediously simple. Because some people apparently have trouble building Lego sets, which is unbelievable. Like, I couldn't get it together, so I returned it to the store. That's insane. I think that's you shouldn't be buying Lego if you don't know how to build it. So there needs to be PDFs of the basic instructions, but you can't get the PDFs. So I've only had the patience to build the other Batman with my son using that goofy app. But the plan is to build all 8, and I have enough spare parts. I've got a whole bunch of spare brickheads that I bought. The Spice Girls were on sale, and they were really cheap. So I've harvested a lot of Spice Girls parts to make Batman, so I thought that was fun. But it was Batman Day the other day. What else is weird? Oh, I got one of these. So at the Lego house in Denmark, they sell these, and now they're in paper bags, which is neat. So there's 6 bricks. And normally they're Lego 2x4 bricks. And you can put them in the 6 bricks can go in combination like 8 billion different ways. I don't know what the number is. And then when you go to the Lego house, I think you can actually push a button. I think that's how they do it. And they have a plastic extruder machine, like an actual, the same technology that they use to extrude the regular Lego bricks. They have like one in the middle of the Lego house. And I think you, like, right in front of your eyes, it makes you 6 bricks, and then it shoots out a little piece of instructions. Sorry. But those are only the instructions for you. And so you can theoretically go, you're only allowed to do it once per trip. But if people come back, you can get different sets. And so there's one employee, I think every time they go, it's like once a week, they get a different set. So they're harvesting all the instructions. So at some point, after X billion people go through, they'll run out. But anyway, these ones are not manufactured anymore, but they're Duplo. So this was an order that I had to, for all my strange projects, I'm always ordering from strange shops in Europe or Asia or wherever. And the first thing I do, so I put in my wish list and dear Bricklink, please source all these from the most appropriate stores. And then it'll give me a list of like 5 stores sometimes. So then I go into each store and then I say, okay, what else can I order for other projects at the same time? So I can kind of optimize my shipping. And I always look in the gear section. So the gear is where all the weird stuff is, like towels or keychains or whatever. And so this I found Duplo 6-pack from the House of the Brick. It doesn't have a manufacture date, but I don't think they make the Duplo ones anymore. And all the ones, it does have a date, 2017. There you go. Vintage. It's 7 years old. And that's not. And then I also go, okay. Show it to you. 2013. This is another order for the same set. This is 3 2x4 bricks stacked on top, but so you can actually like switch them up a little bit. Googly-eyed. This is a limited brick run that was from the opening of the design studio in Kladno, which is in Czech Republic. So this is a kind of a commemorative, unique brick set that came with that. So that I paid way too much money for this. This is like, oh, hey, and I'm like, but now I want to make figure specifically for this face because I don't think it exists anywhere else. Or both faces. Oh, look big. Anyway, so strange things. When you're me, you buy stupid things. But when I'm ordering like $800 worth of brick, sometimes it's like, well, it's only $20 more to get the thing, or $10 here, $5 there. Especially stuff that I can't get in North America, or whatever. It just fits my fancy sometimes. And that's my whole office is full of junk like that. Anyway, there you go. I should talk about the other stuff. I didn't talk about Superstore. I'll come back, do something else. So it's 3:00. I gotta go. I hope everyone's well. Merry Christmas. Not quite yet. Only on webcast that I notice how I talk out of the side of my face. Talk to you later.